PageTunes Red. From the pages of PageTunes magazine, monthly number 3, March 2024. Story and artwork by Michael Zigerlig.
Howl. The dense canopy of trees enveloped Dave Murray and his friends as they trudged through the woods near Crescent Valley. Dave, a senior student at Pacific Grove High School, had eagerly anticipated this camping trip for weeks. It was a chance to break free from the academic hustle and bustle and fully embrace the wonders of nature with his closest friends. As they set up camp by the crackling fire, laughter filled the air as they shared stories and roasted marshmallows under the enchanting glow of a full moon. But as the night wore on, a sense of unease settled over the group. Strange noises seemed to emanate from the darkness beyond the flickering firelight. Suddenly, a low growl pierced the night. Dave's heart pounded in his chest as he scanned the shadows, searching for the source of the sound. And then he saw it, a pair of glowing eyes shimmering like embers in the darkness, unmistakably those of a wolf. Before he could react, a blur of fur and teeth lunged at him, knocking him to the ground. Pain shot through his arm as sharp teeth sank into his flesh, and he cried out in agony. His friends scrambled to his side, driving the creature away with shouts and flailing limbs. But the damage had been done. Dave lay on the forest floor, clutching his injured arm as blood seeped through his fingers. In the days that followed, Dave's life took a strange turn. His senses sharpened, allowing him to hear the faintest rustle of leaves and catch the subtlest scent on the wind. His strength seemed to increase with each passing day, and he found himself effortlessly lifting objects that had once seemed impossibly heavy. But perhaps most startling of all was the newfound confidence that seemed to radiate from him. Where once he had been shy and reserved, he now carried himself with a quiet assurance that caught the attention of his classmates, including the captivating Lily. As whispers of his encounter in the woods spread through the school, Dave couldn't help but wonder what had happened to him that fateful night. And as he gazed up at the half moon, he couldn't shake the feeling that his life was about to change in ways he had never imagined. As Dave's newfound confidence blossomed, he unwittingly found himself caught in a web of rivalry with Kyle, Lily's boyfriend and the quintessential popular jock at school. Kyle, perceiving Dave as a threat to his social standing, set out to assert his dominance over him. The tension simmered beneath the surface, palpable in every interaction between the two. Kyle's taunts grew more frequent and biting, each word laced with thinly veiled hostility. Dave, determined not to back down, met Kyle's challenges with a steely resolve, refusing to be intimidated. Their rivalry spilled over into every aspect of school life, from sports competitions to academic achievements. Every success Dave enjoyed seemed to fuel Kyle's determination to undermine him, and the animosity between them escalated with each passing day. As time passed, Dave's transformation took a dark turn. He found himself grappling with bursts of aggression and uncontrollable instincts that threatened to unravel his life. The once gentle and amiable Dave now struggled to contain the primal urges that surged within him. Moments of unbridled rage would sweep over him without warning, leaving him reeling with guilt and confusion in their wake. His friends and family noticed the change in him, their concern growing with each outburst. They tried to offer support and understanding, but Dave felt increasingly isolated, trapped in a battle against his own instincts. Despite his best efforts to suppress his urges, Dave couldn't shake the feeling that he was losing control. The fear of hurting those he cared about weighed heavily on his mind, casting a shadow over every interaction. As the situation continued to deteriorate, Dave found himself teetering on the edge of a precipice, unsure if he would ever find a way back from the darkness that threatened to consume him. One evening, as the night draped its inky veil over Crescent Valley, the next full moon appeared, and Dave, walking home from a friend's house, felt the first tremors of transformation ripple through his body. It began with a subtle prickling sensation, like thousands of tiny needles pricking his skin from within. With each passing moment, the sensation intensified, morphing into a searing heat that surged through his veins. His muscles twitched and spasmed as his bones contorted and shifted beneath his flesh, reshaping him. Fur erupted from his skin in a wild frenzy, spreading like wildfire across his body in a dark, untamed wave. His fingers elongated into razor-sharp claws, and his teeth sharpened into gleaming fangs, hungry for the taste of flesh. A primal roar tore from his throat as he doubled over in agony, his senses overwhelmed by the sheer intensity of the transformation. His vision blurred and swirled, colors bleeding together in a kaleidoscopic whirlwind. But amidst the chaos, a sense of clarity emerged, a primal instinct that pulsed through his veins with a steady, relentless rhythm. He was no longer Dave, the ordinary high school student. He was something more, something primal and powerful, a creature of the night. With a final, guttural howl, Dave emerged from the depths of his transformation, his body pulsating with newfound strength and vitality. He stood tall and proud, a predator unleashed upon the world, its senses sharp and instincts honed to a razor's edge. He was a werewolf, a creature of legend and myth, prowling the streets of Crescent Valley with a single-minded focus, its senses guiding it unerringly towards its target, Kyle. As the beast turned a corner, it spotted him walking down the street near his family's house, located by a train station. With a feral snarl, the creature launched itself at Kyle, fangs bared and claws slashing. It unleashed the full force of its power upon its unsuspecting adversary. But just as its jaws closed around his arm, the sound of a train whistle pierced the air. In a panic, Kyle managed to break free from the grasp and scramble onto the departing train, narrowly escaping the jaws of the werewolf. As the train vanished into the night, the creature stood alone on the deserted platform, its eyes fixed on the disappearing lights with an intense glare, a silent determination burning within it. As the first rays of dawn pierced the night sky, Dave awoke, his body aching and his mind shrouded in confusion. He found himself lying beside a small lake in the town's park, naked and exposed beneath the gentle embrace of the morning sun. As he stirred, he could taste the metallic tang of dried blood in his mouth. Flashes of blurred memories danced at the edge of his consciousness, the primal roar of the beast, the searing pain of transformation, the wild frenzy of the hunt. But try as he might, Dave could not grasp the truth of what had transpired. His mind recoiled from the horrifying possibility, clinging to the comforting embrace of denial. He hastily made his way home, naked, determined to bury the memories of that fateful night deep within the recesses of his mind. He became increasingly withdrawn, his once carefree demeanor replaced by a brooding intensity that set him apart from his friends and family. But despite his inner turmoil, Dave kept his secret closely guarded, afraid of what might happen if the truth were to be revealed. Meanwhile, across town, Kyle grappled with his own newfound abilities, his senses sharpening and his strength increasing with each passing day. Like Dave, he kept his experiences hidden from prying eyes, unwilling to expose himself to the scrutiny of others. But beneath the facade of confidence and bravado, Kyle couldn't shake the feeling of unease that gnawed at the edges of his consciousness. He sensed that he was teetering on the edge of something greater, something beyond his wildest imagination. And as the days turned into nights, and the moon waxed and waned in the sky above, Dave and Kyle found themselves bound together by a secret they could not escape. Tension simmered between them, boiling over into several altercations within the school's corridors and classrooms. Their clashes became a regular spectacle, drawing the attention of both peers and faculty alike. Concerned by the escalating conflict, the school counselor, Pauline Bailey, intervened. Recognizing the need for a more profound intervention, she arranged a weekend wilderness retreat, a chance for the two young men to mend their strained relationship under the guidance of the serene, natural surroundings. Their parents, equally troubled by the discord between their sons, readily agreed to the retreat, hoping it would provide an opportunity for reconciliation and understanding. As luck would have it, the weekend retreat fell under the enchanting glow of the full moon. Amidst the tranquil surroundings, Pauline wasted no time in implementing trust-building exercises tailored to bridge the chasm of misunderstanding that had plagued the young men. With each activity meticulously designed, she observed their interactions with keen eyes, hoping to detect even the faintest glimmer of progress. As dusk descended upon the campsite, thick clouds blanketed the sky, obscuring the full moon's luminous presence from view. But it was replaced by the warm flicker of the campfire. With marshmallows skewered on sticks and the aroma of toasted treats filling the air, they settled into the rhythm of shared laughter and companionship. Pauline watched with a sense of quiet satisfaction. Despite the lingering traces of tension, she detected a newfound openness in their interactions, a tentative willingness to set aside past grievances. As night blanketed the wilderness, enveloping the campsite in a shroud of darkness, Pauline found herself drifting into a peaceful slumber within the confines of her tent. However, her rest was abruptly shattered by an eerie cacophony of howling and roaring that pierced the stillness of the night. Startled from her sleep, Pauline's heart raced with fear as she listened to the unsettling sounds echoing through the woods. Uncertain of the source of the disturbance, she remained frozen in place, her breath caught in her throat as she waited for the chaos outside to subside. As the minutes stretched into agonizing hours, Pauline's mind raced with wild conjectures, each more terrifying than the last. Paralyzed by fear, she found herself unable to move, trapped within the confines of her tent as the night unfolded in a surreal blur of darkness and noise. In a state of shock, Pauline retreated into an embryonic position, curling into herself as she sought solace from the overwhelming sense of dread that gripped her. Time seemed to stand still as she lay there, her senses heightened and her body tense with anticipation, waiting for the dawn to break and the nightmare to end. Then it stopped. Hours passed into the next day, the dim light filtering through the fabric of Pauline's tent, signaling the arrival of morning. Suddenly, her ears caught the sound of voices outside, muffled yet urgent. "This is Sheriff Jackson. Is anyone in there?" Startled, Pauline cautiously unzipped the tent flap and peered outside, her heart pounding in her chest. A forensic team, clad in full gear, moved about the campsite with methodical precision, their solemn expressions betraying the gravity of the situation. They knelt on the ground, meticulously examining the area for clues. But it was the sight of the blood that stopped Pauline in her tracks. It stained the earth in dark, ominous streaks, leading her gaze to where two familiar figures lay motionless on the ground. Before her lay Dave and Kyle, stripped bare, their bodies submerged in a pool of their own blood, bearing deep wounds that marred their flesh. A wave of shock and disbelief washed over Pauline as she took in the grisly scene before her. Her mind reeled with unanswered questions, her stomach churned with nausea at the sight.
If you've been captivated by the magic of this audiobook, here's how you can immerse yourself even further and support the creation of more enthralling tales for your enjoyment. Unlock the ultimate listening journey with a yearly subscription on PageTunes.com. No interruptions, ad-free, and exclusive access to the full library of audiobooks and ebooks. Download and enjoy captivating stories offline, anytime, anywhere. Whether through subscription or individual purchases, you play a vital role in bringing more enchanting stories to life. Explore the merch store. From cozy hoodies to stylish mugs and much more, every purchase directly contributes to crafting more thrilling tales for your pleasure. Thank you and happy listening.